for me at least, Saturday afternoon, somewhere around about 3:30 p.m., 15:30, 15:35, whichever system you choose to use. Got an interesting reading today. I'm just going to go straight into it, and then we can discuss it a little bit afterwards. So here it is. If I can just get this to zoom up a bit. Oh, there we go. It's called The Stream of Accomplishment. The first quote is from someone I'm sure all of us have heard of, Emily Dickinson. And she says, "I never spoke with God, nor visited in heaven, yet certain am I of the spot, as if the chart were given. I never spoke with God, nor visited in heaven, yet certain am I of the spot, as if the chart were given." In other words, that's faith. This is Ernest Holmes in a publication, I Don't Know, Pray and Prosper, page 18. He wrote so much stuff. If we wish love and friendship, we must identify ourselves with them. We must embody them in our thinking. Spirit is the great actor, the final cause in everything. It is with this inner spirit that we commune. This is the meaning of prayer, to commune with the Spirit already within us, to identify ourselves with it, following which we automatically project this identification into our experience. The effect of the old mistakes is wiped out. Old memory images are loosened until their content no longer harms. We are identified with the stream of accomplishment, the certainty that spiritual laws guide and protect us, and that no evil can befall this identification. This act of spiritual identification through conscious communion is one of the supreme accomplishments of the soul. That's, as I said, from Pray and Prosper on page 18 of that publication. And this is what Reverend Dr. Jesse Jennings has to say about that. He says, to make real and lasting changes, we identify with the conditions that we prefer to experience by practicing a spiritual presence rather than an absence. In the old ways of thinking, we look around, notice what's missing, such as love, peace, or progress, and then we will bewail this. Our heartfelt lamentations absorbed most of our energy. Blame, despair, pessimism resulted further weakening us, and our hopelessness was contagious, so that whole batches of the population gave up on themselves and on each other. And then he gets on to say, but in this new approach, notice what's missing. We imagine but in this new approach, noticing what's missing, we imagine how things could be instead. We identify ourselves and all beings with that new vision in front of us, and we behave moment by moment as if heaven and earth had not just come to pass, but had come to stay. So obviously this is all about our ways of thinking, how we think about ourselves and the world around us. It kind of reminds me of a talk that was given yesterday at one of my Toastmasters club, the Friday morning club. And one of the speakers, it was actually the second speaker. We had three speakers yesterday, and the second speaker, he's actually a professional public speaker. And he was speaking about being in the present moment. And he talked and gave examples about living in the past and living in the future. But where we want to be is living right now, here in the present. And this talk today goes a little bit beyond that. It's telling us essentially the same things, but it's also saying that when we're living in the present moment and we focus on what is as opposed to what was or what might be, that where we place our focus is on the good and what we want, and not on what is bad. So this means that we do have to do our spiritual work. We have to become consciously aware of what we're thinking. And one way we practice doing this is, for instance, through mindfulness that we've spoken about many times, that we practice being in the present moment. We practice cleaning our teeth, and we think about cleaning our teeth. We drive the car, we think about driving the car. We wash dishes. If we're not going to put them in the dishwasher, if it's not necessary, then we concentrate on washing the dishes. And most importantly, this, when we're speaking with other people or we're conversing with other people, we give them our attention. We look at them and we pay attention to them. I've been guilty in the past of paying attention but doing something else at the same time. No, we don't do that. We focus on the person and what they're saying, and we ask them questions to make sure we understand what they're saying. So it's about being in the present moment, and it's about focusing in the present moment on the good. It's not to deny that stuff is not entirely the way we want it right now. For instance, if our bank account is low, we don't deny that the bank account is low, but what we do is we focus on what it is that we want. And Ernest Holmes is saying we connect with that spirit inside us, which you could call the presence of God within us. And when we do, we just know that the power flows through us, and that when we fully concentrate and believe that the good is coming to us, then it starts to come to us. So we practice concentrating on the good. And as we practice more and more concentrating on the good, guess what happens? The stuff that we don't want starts to go away, and it starts to lose its power to control our thoughts. Is it an easy process? No, absolutely not. Is it a necessary process? Yes. Is it simple? Yeah, it's simple to explain, but as I said, it's not easy, which means that we have to continually practice doing our spiritual work. And part of our spiritual work can be as simple as sitting in our chair, putting our book down, and just being with the moment. In fact, yesterday the speaker gave some examples, and I'm going to go back to we just finished a meditation class, and what they told us was, ideally, they wanted us to do 30 minutes meditation at a time. 30 minutes walking, 30 minutes sitting meditation. But what they said was, people live very busy lives these days, and they know that. So what they advised us to do was to do 3 5-minute meditations during the day. And if you can, to set a specific time aside to do those 5-minute meditations. And then you've done 15 minutes during the day. The speaker on Friday yesterday was even more gentle with us. He said, just practice doing 1-minute meditations at a time. And especially if you're working with children, get them to do a 1-minute meditation at a time. Almost anybody on the planet can do a 1-minute meditation, right? And once you know you can do, and you get practice at doing a 1-minute meditation, then you can increase that 2, 3, 4, 5, and eventually you can increase that to more. And when you do that, you start to learn to control your mind. In fact, the meditation class was called Mind Power, the one that we were in for 7 weeks. So the simple answer is this: we need to practice being in the moment, being aware of what's going on in your mind. And then when we send something negative in there, we just say, thank you very much, goodbye. You move it at one side and you think what it is that you want. It's that simple. But as I said, is it easy? No. But when we do our spiritual work, it becomes easier and easier. So those are my 10 cents worth. 2 quick reminders. One is Reverend Royce will be on tomorrow morning, 9:30-ish, reading from the Science of Mind textbook. Our service will be tomorrow at 11. We have been trying to buy we are buying new equipment. The first piece was supposed to come yesterday or today, but it's not here yet. We are going to definitely work on making sure that the sound quality right from the beginning is okay. And as the time goes on, we're going to replace the equipment so that eventually we will have a really up-to-date system and you will have a wonderful experience. However, come tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, Reverend Jesse has always got a great message. So please come along and check that out. And I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, 5 o'clock. Should be able to manage 5 o'clock tomorrow. Take a deep breath. Just let it go. Right, that's what you can do during the day. You can just practice taking a half a dozen breaths. And if taking a really deep breath doesn't work for you, makes you dizzy, just take a breath to the level that you can and let it out slowly, if you can do that. And just practice doing that several times during the day. And then you can work that into a meditation. How about it? Until next time, namaste.